good morning. Good morning. All right, guys, welcome to third grade collaborative planning. So let's take a really close look at our agenda for today. Our goal is to unpack the standard for third grade, align it to standard 1.3. We also want to make sure we have aligned in products and make sure we are meeting the demands and specific of the standards. Can we agree to follow our norms and work towards accomplishing this today? Yes? All right, so let's look at the first task on the list. Review the previous standards. So let's talk a little bit about.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys just started planning?
Yes.
I see I'm on the agenda and I'm the last one. It says Annie. I'll come back when you guys are done.
Yes.
Some important announcement.
Please, thank you. All right, so let's look at our previous standard. So let's talk about 1.2, Ms. Williams.
I brought in a student work product for that standard. And I think that,
Go ahead.
okay, so looking at, I don't know if you guys, I'm gonna give you a copy of the student product, my students. So I think that they did actually very well on this product. You'll see that they actually answered the end product. And some of the students even gave me a little bit more textual evidence, so I think that they did very well.
How do you know they did well?
Well, I actually created a rubric,
Mm-hmm.
and so for that end product, so I looked through understanding that they matched up. They matched up the specific verbiage that was in the standard that they
Excellent.
included in their product.
Okay, very good. Excellent. So now, Ms. Green, talk to me about the end product and how that happened and how did you feel about how the students did?
So, like Ms. Williams, we all agreed that we would use the same rubrics, so
Yes.
we could see where the students were. So I think, but where it came to the supporting evidence, my students struggled a little bit. So when I'm reflecting, going back into the lesson plan, I'm noticing that perhaps I did not question them appropriately to get the evidence that I wanted for them to provide for this particular performance task. So those students who may need a little bit more support, I'm going to try to put them into a DI group
Excellent.
so that I can kind of go back and tweak some things with them looking at this product and then possibly having them to revise it.
So with that knowledge, what we're gonna do is today, as we plan the lesson, we're gonna really think about that. Making sure we have some questions a little bit more scaffolded to help them get to that end product a little bit better, since you already know that's the issue. Excellent job. Go ahead, Ms. Ross.
Well, my kids kind of fell in the same boat with Green. However, I wanted to ask, I know we planned together, and I wanted to ask Ms. Williams, what strategy did you use to get the kids to elaborate? Because my kids did not do that well in that area, and I know that, you know, your kids did very well, so I want to know the strategy you used.
I used the race strategy,
Okay.
and within the race strategy, and that's a strategy we use continuously in our class every time we write, whether, especially if it's an open-ended question. So the different steps to it, but the E is the elaboration. So every time we do anything, every time we need to cite evidence, we use the race strategy.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Excellent, very good. So now, we've kind of reviewed what we did. Using that knowledge, we're gonna move forward. This standard this week is 1.3, right? So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna unpack the standard and create learning targets. So in doing that, let me make sure I check this off for you guys. We're gonna unpack and create daily learning targets using the text. Ms. Green, I noticed, do you have your,
I'm so sorry. I did not bring it up about the student work products. It was just so heavy.
not a problem, Ms. Green, I
didn't
have
bring it this time.
a textbook right here for you.
Thank you.
We really need to have that text as we align the daily learning targets. So what I'm gonna do is pass out the vertical alignment. You guys should have it, but just in case, I'm gonna make sure everybody have it in front of them. Also gonna pass out the item spec. Before we unpack the standard, we're gonna look at the previous prerequisites that are needed for standard 1.3 RI. So go ahead and look on the right-hand side of the vertical alignment paper. You guys see that? So I'm gonna start with Ms. Williams. Ms. Williams, talk about some of the prereqs that are necessary to help the students get to the grade level standard of 1.3.
So what I see, excuse me, what I see is that students need to be able to describe. That right there tells me what they need to be able to
Describe,
do.
excellent.
They need to be able to do something.
Very good.
I'm thinking to myself, and y'all can help me. In order for my third graders to be able to explicitly describe it, and then describe, and what is it that they need to describe? And this thing says the standard tells me that they need historical, scientific, and technical procedures in the text. That's very heavy for my babies. So now I'm thinking to myself, I need to kind of go backwards, and I need to break down what past events are, not just events, but this is events from the past. What is that whole process of scientific ideas and concepts, and then technical? So I'm probably gonna do some front loading there.
Yeah, I was looking at it, and to add to what Ms. Williams was saying, they have to be able to do that, but they also have to be able to see the connection between those ideas and those events, to really look at, well, yes, this is what it is, but what does it mean? How does it all fit together?
Good job, Ms. Green.
And then I'm thinking like, I can't even, because a lot of times people just kind of throw the stand on the word series between the series.
Right.
The series tells me more than one, so there's gonna be more than one connection made.
Yes. 2 to 3 connections perhaps.
Yeah.
Within one text.
Yes.
And we're gonna look at the text this week, in the text, how Johnny got to the apple tree. They're showing events of how each event was connected from beginning to the end. So we'll actually be able to see that in the text, and we'll be able to align it and create some activities that align us. All right, so now that we're kind of clear on what the students needed previously, now we're gonna focus on our grade level. So let's look at 3rd grade. We're gonna unpack that really quickly. So what I'm gonna do is Ms. Williams and I are gonna work together. We're gonna unpack, create learning targets, and we're gonna also do our end products. And Ms. Green and Ms. Robinson, you guys are gonna work together, and then we're going to share out okay?
I'm kind of worried about the writing baseline.
You're worried about the right, oh, don't worry. You know what? We're gonna address it at the end during announcements, okay? All right. All right, go ahead. So let's talk about the How do you, so think about, let's go back to the original goal, right? So look at that word relationship. If you look back at the text, we're gonna find relationships between sentences that we highlight for the students in order for them to understand how sentences connect to one another to create an overall end of what happens at the end of the unit, okay? So let's look at that, right? If we look at that, then I think we'll be able to create a clear picture in the direction of where we need to go. All right, guys, so now let's come back together. Let's come back together. I really heard some really good things from over here from Ms. Green and Ms. Robinson. All right, so what a productive session. So let's be ready to share out. Ms. Green, can you share out what you're gonna be doing as your end product?
So, Ms. Robinson and I had a chance to talk about it, and looking through what McGraw-Hill suggests, I think I'm just going to use the performance task that they have here in the book. I don't necessarily think I need to change it. You know, why should I rewrite it?
Ms. Green, what we wanna do is take a real close look at the item spec to make sure that it aligns. But we wanna make sure that it's hitting the target and the overall objective of where we wanna go. So what I wanna do is tomorrow planning. Can we meet together to look at that again? Because I know we're gonna run out of time. So I'm gonna come back to that end product that you created to make sure that it's hitting the target. Sounds good?
That'll work.
All right.
Tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow. Ms. Williams.
So, I mean, maybe this would help Ms. Green address, I don't know, but I feel like I'm gonna tweak the end product for myself, just me dissecting and creating these targets and unwrapping. I don't feel like this particular performance task in the book is gonna hit a line to the demands of the standard that I need, or that my students are gonna need. Also, I want my students to complete their analytical writing, and this end product or this performance task is surface level. It's very surface level here, so I can probably use some of the wording, but I'll probably add some of the standard inside of it also. Just so that, because it's informational text, I wanna make sure that it's hit, because we know with McGraw-Hill, mostly a lot of it is literature, so I wanna make sure that they really get this standard in this particular informational text.
Yeah. Ms. Robinson?
Well, most of my students are like 2 grade levels below. So in order to meet their needs, I'm going to have them respond to a multiple choice of the response mechanism, so that it's not so intimidating for them. So, you know.
All right, so what I want you guys to do, I like the way you guys all kind of created your own end products that kind of cater to your students and the needs of your students. What I want to do now is we're gonna go over our announcements. We're gonna look at our announcements. We do have parent night coming up. We also have a department meeting coming up, and I wanna talk about, hi, how are
Did you
you?
guys finish, your planning session already? Can I
Yes.
go ahead and plug in the parent night?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful, so we're gonna, don't forget, parent night Thursday, be here at 6:30, okay, just, little housekeeping things, making sure things are organized, you have all your copies done. If you need anything, just shoot me an email and I'll make sure everything's ready.
Yes,
Okay, we're good?
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Robinson, we were talking about the baseline earlier, right?
Oh.
So, yes. So we do have a baseline next week. Next week, Tuesday, you will receive your materials by tomorrow, so you can go over it and be ready and prepared. It's gonna be the entire school. We're gonna shut down the school for about 2 hours, and you guys should be ready to go. If you guys have any questions, I'll make sure you have your materials before the day of the baseline. All is well?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Central question, where can you find patterns in nature? What is that?